Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Deffinition, aka Deff Vader, and it's time to go back to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away with the release of the 5th episode of The Mandalorian. The new release sees the Mando and his best buddy Baby Yoda travelling to a familiar Star Wars location and bumping into a couple of brand new characters. Throughout this video we'll be breaking down everything that you need to know about the latest episode's overall plot, the Easter eggs, and our theories on who the mysterious stranger at the end could be. This entry is packed with tons of references to the overall Star Wars universe, and out of all of the episodes so far, this definitely feels like it's giving people the most fan service. There will be heavy spoilers here, so if you haven't had a chance to watch episode 5 yet and don't want to know what happens, then I highly suggest that you turn off now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for breakdowns like this every day and weekly coverage on The Mandalorian, and with that out the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this video. Now let's get into our breakdown of The Mandalorian episode 5. Okay, so episode 5, titled The Gunslinger, picks up right after the events of episode 4, with Mando leaving Sorgan in order to find safe harbour in the galaxy. Last time the character had hoped that he might have found a safe place for Baby Yoda to grow old. Well, grow old very slowly, cause damn, my man looks good for 50. However, all hopes of this happening were dashed away by a bounty hunter that showed up trying to kill the character. As Greef Karga told the Mandalorian, the baby has a tracking fob in it, and this means that no matter where they go, no matter where they hide, they will always have to look over their shoulder. This is exemplified by the opening of episode 5, in which we see Mando's ship, the Razor's Crest, being chased through space by a bounty hunter. I haven't really talked all that much about the Razor's Crest in my breakdown videos so far, but it's actually a former military craft that Mando had repurposed in order to carry out his missions. The Razor's Crest has a very similar design to many of the clone trooper ships, and it is said to have existed before the rise of the Empire, thus we can guess that it was used in military campaigns during the Clone Wars. Its age shows itself too, as the bounty hunter that follows the pair busts up one of the engines of the craft, and Mando has to use special tactics in order to take out the pursuer. I love how the bounty hunter, named Riot Mar, has a sort of fighter pilot look to him, and this kind of reminded me a bit of Top Gun and Independence Day, with his mask and helmet bearing a lot of similarities to the ones that we would see in our own world. Baby Yoda can be seen strapped in tight, and this kind of shows how he will be in the episode, as the character pretty much takes a back seat to most of the proceedings. Mando, desperate to land, goes to the closest planet to him, and he is hailed in by none other than Mos Eisley Tower. That's right, we're visiting probably the most famous planet in the Star Wars universe, Tattooine, home of the likes of the Skywalkers, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jabba the Hutt, and pit droids from the Phantom Menace, which we see waiting to greet him upon his arrival. Mando, a little paranoid for obvious reasons, shoots at them upon exiting his ship, and this draws the attention of Peli Motto, the mechanic that works at the bay, who offers to fix his ship. As we've seen though, Mando has found it more difficult getting a job than Jesse Smollett, Juicy Smollett, and he's spent the last couple of weeks running from the Empire and bounty hunters rather than working. Luckily, he's in the one place that has the galaxy's biggest collection of scum and villainy, and he heads to the infamous Mos Eisley Cantina to look for work. The lead up to this is filled with hints that the Empire isn't welcome on the planet, and we also see the pit droids and Peli playing a game of sabacc, which is notorious in the Star Wars universe. Baby Yoda also makes a force cry. I want to say force cry. Anyway, it's the same noise that Obi-Wan used to scare off the Tusken Raiders in A New Hope, and this draws the attention of Peli, who's probably over the moon that she's actually managed to find the one thing that her kids have been asking for this Christmas. Watching the little guy walk down the ramp is adorable, and who wouldn't instantly fall in love with the character? Darth Vader probably, yeah, that's who. Curse your cold heart, Vader! Anyway, in the lead up to the cantina we pass the outside of it, which is shot exactly how it was in A New Hope, and we also see where Luke and Han met for the first time, and where Greedo said the infamous etched in stone words, McClunky. Every week before doing a video, I do wonder how I'm gonna get a McClunky reference in, and they pretty much handed this one on a plate, with one of the main characters in the episode, Toro, sitting in the exact same place that Han shot first. Wait, was it Greedo shot first? No, it was Han. Wait, I don't even know anymore. Toro is played by the son of Bobby Cannavale, who you may recognise from The Irishman and Ant-Man, and he has a job for the character and needs a hand. The target is Fennec Shand, and knowing her reputation as an elite mercenary, Mando turns it down. This is Toro's first job and he offers Mando the entire money for doing it as long as he helps him, due to the fact that doing the job will get him into the guild. We all know Mando loves to help young men, and it's great seeing him rub shoulders with a new bounty hunter. Also, we see a droid working in the cantina that could be the same one that worked in Jabba's palace, and a gonk droid patrolling his ship. I guess the Mos Eisley Cantina changed their position on their no droid policy, which just shows you, this show is so woke. Mando learns the hard way that you don't leave Baby Yoda behind, but luckily Peli is on the case. Toro brings 2 swoop bikes as their rides, and for those who don't know, these were introduced in Shadows of the Empire before being brought into the main Star Wars lore. One looks extremely similar to the one that Anakin rides in the Attack of the Clones, and he and Toro head out. The scene is incredible, and whenever they do these kind of shots in The Mandalorian, they always knock it out of the park. I love how there's a sort of race between the two, as it shows just how much Toro wishes to impress, and he races ahead like a bull at one of them Spanish things, cause he's called Toro. As with most journeys into the wilderness of Tatooine, the pair come across some Tusken Raiders and Bantha. Similar to how they got Luke in A New Hope, we see 2 just idling by, whilst the real threats sneak up on them. It's actually good to see Raiders not just attacking for the sake of it for once, and hey, maybe these guys just have a bad rep after all. Maybe Kathleen Kennedy isn't a bad person either. I can't say that. The 2 then run into a dewback which is pulling a dead bounty hunter behind it. Before you can even say I have a bad feeling about this, Mando spots the tracking fob and is shot by Fennec from afar with an MK modified rifle. Mando decides to wait until nightfall for the cover of darkness, and this is really like a cat and mouse situation. I don't know if you've ever played Metal Gear Solid 3, but there was a part in it in which you went face to face with a sniper across like a huge open world area, and this gave me a lot of flashbacks of that. Like, you could even set the difficulty so that it was one shot, one kill, and I love situations that have snipers in them as it's just so tense and slow, but overall it makes for one of the best action set pieces that we've had in the series so far. The 2 race across the area on swoop bikes using flash transmitters, or as we call them, flares, to blind the scopes of Fennec, and we're able to see her up close and personal, and I realise that she's played by May from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's always excellent, and yeah, she certainly doesn't disappoint here. It looks like Mando is down by the character, but Toro sneaks up on her, buying time for Mando to get in close and capture the mercenary. They take her in alive after some persuasion from Mando. They even call Mando in this episode, which, yeah, I found that a bit funny. Now, Fennec does pay lip service to not seeing the Mandalorians for a long time, and also about Navarro, which is revealed to be the planet that the Client and Greef are on. Toro realizes that this entire time he's been with one of the most wanted people in the entire galaxy, and Fennec says that if he lets her go, they can split the bounty. Toro isn't exactly into sharing anymore though, and he decides to shoot her instead, stealing the idea. Mando returns to pick them up on his dewback and discovers her body, and then heads back to Mos Eisley. Now personally, I don't know if Fennec is actually dead, and we do see feet later on approaching her body. I'll get into that later at the end of the video, but yeah, I just have a feeling that she'll be back. Back at the bay, Toro has captured Baby Yoda and Peli, and he wants to take them all in to achieve legendary status. Luckily for Mando, the kid is an absolute idiot, and it's not like we've seen him get out of worse situations than this before. I love how Peli says you're smarter than you look, because to me he just looks like Boba Fett, who was an idiot. Let's face it, he was an idiot. He did nothing. Like, he fell into a pit and that was it. He pretty much Mr. Magoo'd his way through the entire Star Wars series. Don't at me. And Mando kills Toro easily, but worst of all, it looks like Baby Yoda may be hurt. Luckily though, he's okay, and we remember we must protect Baby Yoda at all costs. Peli takes Toro's body to Beggar's Canyon, and Mando heads up, and away. The episode ends on a sort of cliffhanger with a stranger approaching Fennec's body. Not only does this hint that the character could be still alive to me, which I really hope she is because it's a waste of talent to kill her off this early, but it also hints at what could be happening down the line. Now this could be a number of characters, and I'll just go over the top 3 theories that I've seen on the internet. So we can see that the character wears a cape, So it could either be Greef Karga, who is hot on the tail of Mando after his big escape in episode 3, and he does seem like the kind of guy that would jangle when he walks. He could also be after Fennec if she has a high price on her head. However, we rarely ever see Greef get his hands dirty, and he seems more like a handler rather than someone who would go out on a job himself. The other theory that I've seen bounded about that seems very unlikely is that it's the client. I'm not sure looks wise if he quite fits this mold, and similar to Greef, he doesn't seem like the type of character that would go out and do things himself. What seems most likely is that it's in fact Giancarlo Esposito, who is rumoured to be playing a character known as Moff Gideon. We did see a shot of him in the trailer, in similar surroundings to Tattooine, and from his costume he looks very closely dressed to the minor glimpse that we got. Fennec also in the episode appears to be wearing an Imperial uniform, which could show that she is, or at least has been, in line with the Moff, and this is why he would be looking for her, as it's likely that Fennec tried to escape the group. Hence why she has a bounty on her head. Now for those that don't know, a Moff is a high-ranking Imperial governor, and no doubt the larger the legend of the Mandalorian and the child becomes, the more that the higher-ups will be after them. I think this will definitely be the most likely scenario, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future, especially if they're going to go head-to-head with more Imperial-esque figures again. This show is breaking the bad curse of Star Wars follow-ups, and yeah, I'm absolutely loving it right now. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on The Mandalorian episode 5 as well as what your theories for the future are. Make sure you leave them in the comments section below, and if you enjoyed this video then force push that like button and make sure you check out our full breakdown of Cara Dune, which will be linked at the end. We go over everything you need to know about the character and give our theories on how she hints at how the First Order was created. It's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more, and if you want to come chat to me after the video then make sure you follow me on Twitter at DeffinitionYT, or head over to my Discord server which will be linked in the description below. We drop videos on there early, so if you want to see stuff before anyone else then that's the best place to be. It's free to join and we have an awesome community, so hopefully I'll see you over there very soon. We're also giving away a free copy of the Marvel Phase 3 Part 2 box set on Blu-ray, which contains Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, Captain Marvel and more, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave your thoughts on The Mandalorian in the comments section below. The winner is going to be chosen on the 15th of December and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are never missing television, so if that's the kind of thing you like, you need to subscribe to Deffinition. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this, you've been the best and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.